to you about football. One of our favorite things in our family because we all like football, and Miss Katie has to endure it as she's shaking her head back there. She had to learn why the sky is blue and white. And why is the sky blue and white, Miss Katie?
Because God is a Penn State fan.
Because God is a Penn State fan, and we believe that. But this is about high school football. FNL, which I always have to catch myself to not think that these folks call it Friday Night Lights because, well, that would be a trademark infringement or copyright infringement or such. But it's called Friday Night Legends. And this is from Chris Doyle and Michael Wright, from the hotbed, really, of American high school football, Texas, where our oldest son was born at Darnell Army Community Hospital. So let's see what's in the box. We'll move stuff here. It's a light box. Patsy was sleeping in it last night. First, there are, ta-da, a pad, a game pad that gives you the 6 offensive plays and the 6 defensive sets. Then there is a second set of pads. Your scoreboard gives you your time, correction, your downs here, and your time. The time is in blocks. There is, of course, a playing field. It's a playing field. Pretty solid, nothing flimsy about it. What is nice is it has your game timing on it. You're out of bounds, taking a knee in terms of time, and your penalty roll. These guys have thought of everything because then we have, of course, the baggie. You have your white die, 20-sided die, which is set up for the big charts, the game charts, which we'll get to in a moment. The 12-sided red die, which is to determine the defensive play that is not determined. The defensive play that is on the column for which card you chose, and the offensive one, the big honking green die. Don't you like the different sizes? I mean, look. Is this pretty, Miss Katie? It's very festive looking, and we've got 3 of them. For your field, you have the 10-yard marker. And then, of course, you've got the big football that shows you where it's at. So it all works nicely that way. Then we've got both, I'll come close here, we've got both offensive and defensive set cards. Friday Night Legends. Friday Night Legends. You flip one over. The drop back pass. It's a pass blitz. We'll see how they work then here in a moment. But that is what is inside. Oh, but Smitty, is that all that's inside? Surely there has to be more. Well, of course, because you need the charts. You have 4 charts here, double-sided. And of course you've got your penalty chart, your kicks chart, more kicking stuff, and special plays. But then we come to the heart of the game in a sense, and that is your teams. And here, of course, we're playing a Pennsylvania Best of 2019. You've got Southern Columbia. They won the state championship. You've got State College, which is close to where I grew up. We have Bellefonte, the Red Raiders. Ooh, 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 ooh. We know a lot of people who went to that school. And we got Thomas Jefferson, who also won the state championship, different level of Pennsylvania football. And then we had to have Chris make up Yulee for us. Yulee is a Florida school, and one of the great running back studs of all time, Derrick Henry, came from there. And if you want to watch something, go to YouTube and watch Derrick Henry. He's a mutant in terms of size and what he does. It's amazing these guys didn't win a state championship, except, and this is one of the great things about these cards, it tells you their offensive stats, and like Yulee was 38.7 points a game, pretty good. Their defense was 24.4, so not so great defensively. Whereas if you look in comparison to, say, Thomas Jefferson in Pennsylvania, 45-8, but only gave up 4.3 a game. And Miss Katie was supposed to remind me of what?
Something spooky.
Spooky. Chris and Mike right now have done for one day. They might extend it later if maybe I whine enough to them. Ask nicely. I'll whine. 5, not 10, 5 great teams that are just so awesome through history of high school football. One of them is Berwick, Pennsylvania, that were so amazing that they did this last October, and he's put it back alive for today. So we'll take a look at those later. We'll be back in a minute. We'll give you some closer detail of the game parts. Thanks. We'll see you in a minute. Now let's take a good look at the cards here. Here you see all the offensive cards. Here you see all the defensive cards. You select those on your own against an opponent. The way I play it, I generally do it sort of by random, but I also do it dependent upon what's left in the queue for cards. Now, a close-up of the playing field. This is very nicely done, I think, myself. You can see the field. You can see the penalty roll. There's also a thing called coaching points in here, and you get to spend them like money dependent upon what you want to do in the game. You see the game timing chart, out of bounds, taking a knee. All works very cleanly. And then, of course, we've got, you can get to see a team here. There it is there's a team on offense, and you see the specific offensive play at this side, and then the defensive mechanism on the other side. Now we will look at Yulee on defense, and here's their defense because now you see the minuses. And again, the play that the other team would have selected, the play the other team would have selected is here, and here's the defensive, and that is here. Say they had done a draw play. We rolled a 7. We just selected run inside 7. Over the draw play is a -1. So it's a pretty clever and easy to use system. It's a lot of fun too. I like playing this one. Games take normally 90 minutes or so. Here is one of the charts. This is the penalty chart. Nicely color-coded, easy to read. I like easy to read, and I like color-coded. I like big font. Meets all my tests. Here we have what happens on special plays. Big play offensively. Big play defensively. Sacks, tackle for loss, penalties, fumble recovery, extra points, all those special plays that happen. the kicking card, as I call it. Again, bold font, easy to read, and special plays and penalty rolls. So again, we keep repeating ourselves because it's a well-conceived package. It works nicely, and they're really nice, responsive folks. Even better, you want to know what your high school did in a certain year? Ask Chris and Mike to generate it, because here, Bellefonte, which was not my high school, but we have a number of friends who went there. We asked them to generate both Bellefonte, and we asked them to generate State College, which is, of course, where my sister lives now. And they were able to do that pretty darn quickly. So you want a team generate it, you ask these guys, they'll do it. So we will go ahead, get this posted for y'all to review, to look at, and think about getting this game, because y'all are sitting inside anyway, and it is truly a legendary game of its own.